I wanted to do one of those scary intros that didn't work, but hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be reading my UBC application, or well, essay that got me into UBC. I don't go to UBC, I ended up picking Cornell University, but UBC is a really good school. And just a little bit of back context, I am from Richmond, British Columbia, Canada. I am a freshman this year, and I applied for the business major, so for the Sauder School of Business. So that is a little bit about background context. I'll be reading my essays for the commerce questions and also the questions that are more general and specific to UBC. I can link the timestamps for those in the description below. And this was upon high request, so I wanted to just help everyone out. And I just want to preface by saying, I say this in every video that I do these videos for, which is just, it's very holistic. Like, you cannot just say that one essay or one part of your application will determine anything. You absolutely got this, and please don't let anyone else affect your mood or your thoughts on you getting in or not. I've seen people get rejected even if they have stacked stats, and people that don't have as good extracurriculars or grades, and they're fine. So it's just how holistic you are. I just want to say you got this, and please feel free to reach out to me anytime. My contacts are in the link in the bio. I'm more than happy to help out, reading over your stuff, answering questions, just being someone you can distress to. And without further ado, I'll be reading my essays, and please bear with me because I am not that great at reading out loud, so if you want me to send you a copy, just DM me. Okay, so the first commerce question is, give us an example of how the pandemic has changed your involvement in the community or group most important to you. What have you learned from this experience? Maximum 1,500 characters. Everything at school was restricted last year. Carnival, cancelled, pep rally, postponed, talent show, moved online. As co-president of my school student council, I started this year determined that this school year would be different. We have been planning since summer, making documents filled with potential events ideas and complete with COVID contingencies. We wanted to uplift the school morale and ensure people felt that they were connected with the school community. By September, Palmer was ready to go. On the first day of school, the council welcomed everyone back. We stood at entrances, tossing candy and blasting Taylor Swift. Spirit Weeks no longer felt as if the student council members were the only ones participating. Students loved the fashion themes and took over the halls to show off their creative takes on our daily themes. We work hard to ensure our space is collaborative, inclusive, and safe. Our efforts have begun to see real impact on our school. Our social media has increased by 450 followers this year and become an indispensable tool to connect during the isolating times. I was especially heartened to see 25 grade 8 students put their names forward to run for their class representative, a new record. We still face many limitations on in-person gatherings, especially as cases go up now. But I am proud to say that we built a supportive network across the school and helped offer students a small taste of a normal high school experience. Okay, so this is my second essay, and the prompt is, explain how you responded to a problem and or an unfamiliar situation. What did you do? What was the outcome? And what did you learn from the experience? French conversations with friends usually started and ended the same. Comment ça va? Ça va bien. Crickets. Eventually, our teacher, Mr. Fugazawa, introduced the easy 30 rule. For every half hour spent independently reading or listening to French, he would add 10 points to our participation marks. Many would do the bare minimum, but I was fixated on the ultimate prize, becoming fluent. I developed a self-study schedule. For 30 minutes, I would read French articles out loud, noting down unknown words and looking them up. I would then practice using those words in sentences, and finally, I would record myself acting out conversations and interviewing in French. Throughout the day, I listened to my French playlist, ear buzzing with many different artists. My friends were convinced I had gone insane. It was difficult at first, but I built up a network of people to practice with, until I gained such a strong proficiency I could debate current events with my French teachers. My sentences began to follow more naturally, and I began to understand the language better and better. Taking the time to learn beyond the curriculum has given me confidence in my ability to self-motivate learning. The experience encouraged me to be creative and to look for novel opportunities to learn from my environment. I can now look back at my progress towards fluency with pride, knowing that I was able to set goals, work towards them, and even push past them once I made those benchmarks. Okay, so those were my commerce essays, and now I'm going to be moving on to the essays that all the applicants have to write, and I will be offering tips at the very end. I would do different tips for different essays, but honestly it depends on the person. It just becomes really general, so for those reasons, yeah. Also, my hair is really oily right now because I haven't washed it in solid like 4 or 5 days. I'm putting it on the internet right now. I've just been going out a lot, and my makeup has not been taken off for like 2 days now, so we're vibing, we're pushing through. I also think that this is fun because I don't want to do work right now, so this is just something I really care about. Okay, anyways, next question is, tell us about who you are. How would your family, friends, and or members of your community describe you? If possible, please include something about yourself that you are most proud of and why. And this maximum is 1,500 characters. In grade 2, we played a game. Introduce yourself with an adjective that starts with the same letter as your name. Another student, a Julia, claimed joyful, narrowing my choices down to one option of vocabulary, jumpy jazz. Even though the nickname was created by accident, it stuck. Awkward gatherings, bring Jazz. She'll fill in the room with laughter. Struggling in a subject, ask Jazz, she'll tutor you. Feeling down, reach out to Jazz. Her chats are always open. My cheerful energy has been the core of who I am. Even when I struggled to settle down in my new high school, I did not let this part of my identity fade. Walking through the hallways the first week of school, I overheard loud laughters in room 107. I was caught between two conflicting thoughts. Don't interrupt, but make new friends. Jumpy Jazz made a U-turn and walked in. It was a club meeting for food security club, Nutrican. After the meeting, I introduced myself to their team. They invited me to hang out with them, and I joined the club. I made connections with other students in my grade. By October, not even the teachers remembered that I was new. I am proud of my ability to adapt to new settings. Change can be difficult, it can be scary and unknown. But it also presents us with new opportunities to try things, meet people, and expand our horizons. I know I can always rely on my jumpy alter ego to embrace new adventures or show up for an old friend. My camera died, so I had to go charge it, but now I'm back. The next question is, what is important to you and why? And the maximum characters is 1,500 words. When news of the pandemic first struck, my Instagram feed was filled with posts from well-meaning friends. Stay at home, the cheerful sticker read, but I wondered what might that mean for people without a home. I thought of the unhoused customers I sometimes get at McDonald's, where I work as a cashier. Were they staying safe? Were they going hungry? And so I founded Go Givers Foundation, a youth-led nonprofit distributing meals and hygiene kits to the unhoused in the downtown east side. I know the world's problems cannot be fixed by handing out bag lunches. Unaffordable housing, barriers to access mental and physical health care, and stigma towards substance users have all contributed to the difficulties many unhoused people in the Vancouver area face, none of which can be treated with a smile and a peanut butter sandwich. But I know in this moment, helping feed people is what we can do. It is how we help our neighbors, by ensuring that they are nourished, by making sure that they have access to personal protective equipment. Many of the volunteers are students, new to the world of volunteering. I created an encouraging, welcoming space where volunteers can connect with their community and contribute to the meaningful ways. But Go Givers also provides the youth a way of developing new skills, overcoming shyness, and building confidence. One of our volunteers came to our organization with a reputation of being a troublemaker. At the first distribution, he rolled out the wagon down to Hastings, stopping to chat with residents and passing out meals. His engaging conversations put our unhoused clients at ease, and he quickly became a regular volunteer. The experience of leading Go Givers has helped fine-tune my radar. I've developed a keener sense of when to encourage a volunteer to persist through their nervousness and when to pivot, find a new task, or encourage them to rest. It has helped me learn that being a good leader is about understanding your people and having the empathy to look at situations from a different perspective. Okay, so the next one is, tell us about 1 or 2 activities listed above that are most important to you. Please explain the role you've played and what you learned in the process. And so this total can be 2,100 characters, and decided to just write about 1. Standing in the cafeteria line at my new high school, I read the menu. Rice bowls, $8. That price might have seemed reasonable to some, a steal even, for a healthy and filling lunch. But truthfully, I knew that many of my classmates could not afford such lunches. The price tag was easily out of reach for many of my peers. Alarmed by the number of students at risk of going hungry, I decided to join Nutrican, a club focused on addressing food insecurity in Richmond school areas. The following year, I assumed the club's presidency, leading our dedicated team of volunteers to deliver our 3 main initiatives: a breakfast club ensuring no students come to school hungry, a program focused providing free weekly lunches, and food for thought, an annual program teaching students from grades 5 to 7 about nutrition, food, fat phobia, and being physically active. I currently lead a team of 80 volunteers and 15 executive staff. Managing so many personalities can be demanding, but it's also richly rewarding. NutriKin gives students a way of making connections and contributing to the school community. When I transferred to Palmer, it was one of the first places that helped me ever feel like home. No student should spend the day distracted by hunger. By combating food insecurity in our community, NutriKin helps ensure students a place where kids can focus on learning, playing, connecting with their fellow students. Okay, and now kind of onto the advice that I want to give. First of all, don't worry so much about what other people write. Honestly, when I wrote the application, I didn't even think that I would get in because a lot of my peers around me were really just like talented people, and I compared myself way too much, and that definitely distracted me from writing these essays to the best of my ability and at an efficient rate. Sometimes I would definitely just stare at my screen for like few hours and just have nothing written down, have a couple ideas, but not be able to formulate them into sentences. So how I'd go about writing these essays, since they're also quite short and you have to be very concise, is the first draft that you do, just write your heart out. Like, do not write any, like, don't even edit it, just write whatever you think is good. And then if you have a lot to say, then that's perfect, and then just try to condense it, but really focus, I would say, on 3 points, which is really being able to sell what you learned by not just saying Okay, my camera died. Note to self, please charge the damn camera before I film next time. But like I said, the 3 points to really focus on is being able to show growth. Don't show it through saying you're kind, quantify it. I've been kind by starting blank X amount of programs in blank amount of cities. Next one is being able to not be cocky about it. Make sure that you include yourself in the learning, but also how that's like, how you have called to action, how maybe in the future you want to do something with it, or how right now you've already continued that interest in other areas of life with some intersection or interdisciplinary skills. And the last fact I would say is just make sure it's not wordy, because the character limit is very small for these ones. Every single sentence really matters. Don't give too much background context or whatever. If they heard of student council, don't explain what student council really is. Maybe like just kind of imply it. Make sure it's like sweet and short. As I was writing them, I would say the most difficult one to write was the one that said, tell us about who you are. Because as somebody growing up, I feel like I've been everyone but myself, if that makes sense. I always have been like trying to please my parents with getting good grades, you know, trying to please everyone around me but myself. So this one was a really good reflection of who I really wanted to be. And in that case, it was to be someone that's really energetic. I don't know if you've texted me before, I'm just very like bubbly, and I want to continue being that way to anyone. Yeah. And then one of the most important ones I would say is the ones that ask like what's important to you. A couple of these prompts have that kind of implied thing, so make sure to give a good narrative. Don't just say, I like student council. What made you like student council? What brought you here to write about it or join the opportunity? Don't do it because of a resume. That's what you want to avoid saying. I understand, like I even admit some of these things I do for the resume because that's admittedly how this application process works, but it also came with the fact that I had interest in it anyways. So yeah, just give context, give reasoning, make it sound good and very collaborative. That's what a lot of universities, especially in business, look for. They care about how collaborative you are in your work settings. So try to demonstrate that and demonstrate whatever traits you want. So I wrote at the top of my page when I write these essays just what I want to emphasize in each of my essays. Yeah, like for example, the one that says, let's see, like give us an example about how the pandemic has changed your involvement. So for me, it was starting my own like sort of my own step to leadership and initiative. So that's what I emphasize, and also bringing out community and being a huge community builder. So rather than just saying I'm a community builder, I told a story about it, and that's about it. What else? Relatable things. I cried writing these essays. I definitely thought that I wouldn't have gotten in. I really struggled with the word count too. A bunch of the times I was so over the limit. So another way that I would recommend is getting other people to proofread it for you, but make sure don't get too many, because then opinions get very subjective and confusing about which one you want to actually take. So make sure to just pick the ones that you actually agree with. Don't just agree for the sake of somebody's qualifications. Like, for example, me, oh, I got into like X amount of schools. That doesn't qualify me for reading your essay. Your essay should just be from you. Like, if it sounds like you, then it's you. Yeah, I think that is about it. Some things about UBC that are really good. If you're going to business, I forgot the club name, but definitely look into one of their portfolio management clubs. I heard it's like, one of the best ones in Canada, so look into that. UBC, I don't know too much about it since I don't go there, but all my friends are having a good time. It's definitely intense, but they have really good friends, and yeah. I think the reason why, I guess I can like make a video about it in the future about like why I chose a school over another, but for like just Canadian schools in general for business, it's not as collaborative as I want it to be. It's if it gives me like individual vibes, if that makes sense. And I really work in a collaborative environment, and I definitely wanted to not be at home because it's just too close, and I don't want my mom pulling up like every weekend. So just wanted to go somewhere far. But that's about it for my video of reading my UBC application. I hope you all really liked it, and please again let me know if you need anything. All my contacts and support is in the link in the bio, and stay tuned for the next 4 years that I'll be posting on this channel, because I promise it'll be good content and just like good vibes, because honestly my thought in university is just a lot of it's concealed, and I want to show everyone what life is like from somebody that stresses a lot but is trying to make the most out of their experiences. But yeah, have a good rest of the day, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.